We're back on My Plug Life, talking about how to become an Uber or Lyft driver here in Vancouver with your electric vehicle. Now, in the previous video, I talked about some of the documentation you need and some of the steps you have to go through. And now that I've done a bunch of them, I have a better understanding of what you actually need to get to the end of the day. Now, first up, in the other video, I was talking about getting your Class 4 driver's license. Now, I have my Class 5, so I can drive a regular car, no limitations. Now, if I want to get a Class 4, which is a commercial license, first thing I need to do is write a written test. This cost me $10. I have to go to a computer in person in order for them to do this. And the wait list for this was crazy. It was like a couple months due to the pandemic going on, I guess. Now, at that time, when I wrote the test and I successfully passed, I mentioned to the person that I'd like to be doing the road test as soon as possible. They gave me a special phone number to call. Now, if you want to get your Class 5 full license, you'd have to wait 6 months just to get an appointment in order to do that test. But with this phone number, and I believe it might be also on the website, there's an 800 number, you can set up a Class 4 license in a week or two. So that's what I did. I set my appointment for a week from then and went out for the road test. Now, this road test cost me $40 just to take the test. Once I passed the test, it cost me an extra $45. I'm almost $100 there just to get my Class 4 license. But that's not all. So once I have that, I then need a medical form from my doctor to be signed off on. This could be through a walk-in clinic or your family doctor if you have one. It's going to cost you around $225 in addition to that. So once all that's through, you then officially have a full Class 4 license and you can drive a taxi or a limousine or ambulance or something like that. Anything but a bus, basically. So getting to that point, though, that first initial test that I had to take was quite long. Doing the road test wasn't too bad. It was the same as a Class 5, just a little bit more picky. But you had to watch out because you needed to have a really good understanding of how to do a walk around of your vehicle. So that is, you need to make sure that all the mirrors are attached, the tires are on, the lug nuts are good, everything about the vehicle is in safe working order, inside and outside, before you even drive it. So once all that's done, it seems like a lot, but there is more that you need to do. At that point, the other documents I'd recommend, even before doing the Uber and Lyft thing, is go and get your police vulnerable sector check. Now, this is just to make sure that you don't have a criminal background or anything like that. It's going to cost you $80 basic plus $20 per copy you want. So if you're just doing Uber, it'll be $100, but if you're doing Uber and Lyft, it's going to be $120. This is something that is not going to take that long to do. You go to an RCMP office, certain ones anyways, and they can do it in person, get it done in a couple hours, no problem there. But then the last thing that you're going to have to pay for is a vehicle inspection. So they're going to take your car, make sure the brakes are good, make sure your tires, that's the key, tires are really good, and then you're good to go. That'll cost you about $100. My Canadian Tire cost me about $80. So all that is the first thing I would get, even before signing up for Uber and Lyft. At that point, when you are signing up, go get a referral, because a referral for an Uber or Lyft is about $600 or $700 each. So that will take the cost of all the stuff you had to pay for way down. That referral requires that you do about 70 trips or so in a month, which is fairly easy to do if all you worked is 1 or 2 days on the weekend. Maybe you get it done in a couple weeks. No, not too bad. But like I said, you need to actually do a number of trips. Definitely worth it. Up to this point, the cost of all that stuff altogether cost me $530. So one of those referrals is going to offset that. I'm good to go. Now, if all I'm doing is Uber and Lyft, you can actually reduce your insurance down to a lower cost vehicle insurance by sending it to pleasure only. Since your work is your home, you're not having to travel anywhere, your vehicle can be insured like that. And then you can talk to the agent and find out from them as well. While you're driving a customer, you're going to be on Uber or Lyft's insurance, so you're covered for collision comprehensive on that matter. Now, other documents that you're going to need when you sign up for this, you're going to need your vehicle registration, that is your insurance. You're going to need your license plate number. You're going to need proof of work eligibility, in other words, that you're a Canadian citizen or you're able to work in Canada. You're going to need your social insurance number, and you're going to need a GST HST number. Now, this is a little weird. You're now a small business, so you're taking in income and you're going to have to charge GST. Now, what we do doesn't require us to do any of that, but it still has to be on the books. So it's going to happen automatically. You don't have to do anything other than get, first of all, this number. The way you do that is you go to the Canada Revenue Agency, CRA website, and you log in with your regular information under business account, and you can then create a GST, HST number in there. You could even call, because that's what I did. It was a little confusing, so I gave them a call. They walked me through it on the business side. Good to go. Now, what this is going to require you do is you're going to have to file taxes with this once a year. You can set any time you want to do this. You could do it in July if you wanted to, or March, or April, or whatever. So it's going to be just like your regular taxes you do for yourself. It's just on the business side. So getting that number, they're going to then break it down as a business. You can report it quarterly or monthly or however you want to the CRA. And then at the end of the year, you have to do your taxes just like you would for yourself. So that's all the documentation. Once you get that all in, you're now waiting for them to approve you. Now, this is where it got a little interesting for me. Now, Uber and Lyft have, like I said, just got into Vancouver here, so it's relatively new. Uber was the trailblazer. They managed to get all the information together so that they can work, and Lyft just copies them. But two separate groups of people, they have to do two opinions on how things should be done. So when I went to Uber and I wanted to give them information about who I was and all this information I gave you here, I had to give them a copy of my driver's license, and I gave them a temporary license, which is a yellow piece of paper. They would not accept it, but Lyft did. Kind of interesting. But on the other side, when it comes to my medical form, ICBC, when you send them the medical form, they have to look at it and check a box in the computer, and then you're not limited. You basically put on hold until they've done that. Now, I've sent a copy of that to both Uber and Lyft. They're not going to accept it. So I called up ICBC and I told them that this was my situation, and they sent an email with a note saying it's on hold because we're busy and we haven't had a chance to do it. Lyft did not accept that, but Uber did. So at this point, I've got all my paperwork in, and Lyft will not go any further. Uber does. They say, no problem, you're good to drive. But there's one more thing. There's always one more thing at the end of the day I'm going to need, and that is the stickers. Because of course you have to have an Uber or Lyft sticker on the vehicle to designate that you're a driver by law. So in order to get the sticker, I've got to either wait for them to mail me, or I have to go somewhere to pick it up. With Lyft, I was able to go to one of my local malls. They had a kiosk there, and I could get all that information from them. Can't drive with them yet though. And then with Uber, I can't. But I did find that you could do an onboarding process, which is going to require me to go in person to, I guess, a meeting. So I have myself set up for that. I'm just waiting to get that. I'll get my paperwork in, got my stickers and everything. And I'll tell you on the next video about how my experience has been as an Uber driver, first of all, and a Lyft driver later on when I get that going. Anyways, I'll see you guys on that next video. I'm looking forward to it, and have a good day.